Good morning. So today I have Nathan with us, who is an experienced product executive with a proven record regarding elevating startups, turnarounds, and growth start companies. He has the ability to turn around startups and to drive them towards success, which is something that's very important because a lot of companies did not do so well during the pandemic. His mission is to enhance the companies that he's working with and drive them towards success. Let's welcome Nathan on 10 Minutes of Hiring Wisdom, where he will tell us about where he's currently working, the things that he's learned, and the do's and don'ts when it comes to searching for a job. Hi, Nathan. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Thanks for having me, and I appreciate it.
Of course. So, Nathan, can you tell us where you're working, what your role is with the company?
Yeah, I work with ChargeBee right now. ChargeBee is a subscription management platform. Company was founded in 2011. We've received over 200 million in venture funding. Most recently, a $125 million round,
Congratulations.
fueling a lot of growth. We are absolutely hiring. I think there's 50 plus roles available right now. We've got about over 20,000 customers across 50 plus countries. We transact about $5 billion in payments annually, and that number is growing constantly. So, company's absolutely in scale up mode. We've got 600 employees or so today, maybe a little bit over 600 today, and constantly hiring across pretty much every functional organization within the business.
That sounds amazing. And you're particularly interested in technology. Why are you driven towards technology, Nathan? I mean, I understand that there's been a shift towards technology, making everything efficient, making everything productive. But what was your reasoning behind joining something that's so technology centric?
Yeah, I lead the product management organization at ChargeBee, and I've been in product management for 19 years,
Wow.
21 years in software, enterprise software. First two in engineering roles. I actually made a career pivot from hospitality. So my first job out of university was in hospitality. I worked for hotels, and I was a restaurant manager and sales guy for a number of years, and just didn't. I don't know. I never felt intellectually challenged by the work. I love the people I was working with. The hospitality industry is a great industry. I worked for Marriott Hotels, very fortunate, I think, great company, but I didn't feel intellectually challenged by my work. And so I went back to school and got a master's degree in information systems with the goal of being a software developer. I originally wanted to be a developer, which was a hobby at the time. But once I got into the industry, my path moved into product management, and I haven't looked back. I think product management's the most challenging role in a software company, but also the most fun.
Okay, I admire that you realized that you weren't intellectually challenged and decided to pivot, because I think so many people take a degree and they're like, this is what I have to do. It's written in concrete. I cannot go back. But you decided to pivot and actually pursue something that challenged you, and you're enjoying this. So it worked out with you. It's been 19 years in this field. So hats off to you, Nathan, for actually pursuing something that you're really passionate about, because I think the first step towards that is the hardest, but you managed to do that. So it's definitely inspiring for a lot of people who are ready to make that change but don't have enough motivation to take that pivot. So thank you.
You're going to spend a lot of your life working, so I think it's a really good idea if you enjoy it and you feel challenged in all the right ways by it.
Of
Yeah.
course, that makes sense. And because you've had such an amazing career in product management, Nathan, I'd love to understand some of the, like, what are some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to applying for specific positions regarding product management, and how can you make yourself stand out amongst thousands of other applicants applying for the same job?
Yeah, it's recent knowledge for me. I've only been with ChargeBee for about 7 months now, so it's the my last job search is not that far in the rearview mirror, and I was pretty fortunate to be in a spot where I had the time to look around and find a job that was going to be a great fit for what I was looking for. And I think that's the most important thing to me, right? That's critically important to know what you want. I know when you're looking for a job, it feels like I've got to find something now, right? And it just feels so immediate and pressing. But hopefully, once you find the right job, you're going to be in it for a long time. It's worth a few extra weeks or even months of looking around, depending on where you are in your career, to make sure you land in a company, in an industry, in a role that is a great fit for you. I think that starts with understanding yourself and what makes you happy. Things that make you happy will generally make you work longer and harder, which will make you be more successful. And so I think understanding what you want is the key. I mean, I actually created a scorecard during my last search, and I had a rubric, and I was grading the companies that I was interviewing with
Wow.
on this scorecard to determine whether it was a fit for what I was looking for,
And can I
and I
ask?
would highly recommend that.
Can I ask what kind of matrix were mentioned in your rubric to assess whether you were a good fit for this company or not? Like, how did you assess yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I pulled it up before we met so that I could take a look at it again myself. I mean, it started with people and culture. I had a very, and I won't get into the details of my particular scoring and what I was looking for, but I think the people and the culture of the company is really going to have a huge impact on your overall experience. So I knew what I was looking for in terms of people, kindness, smart people, hardworking, and that type of thing. I had a good punch list of what I wanted from the people and the culture. Industry. So I think knowing having a short list of industries that really excite you is important. And for me, I enjoyed serving startups. I think being a founder of a startup is one of the most difficult things you can do. I think people who are startup founders have a superpower that a lot of people just don't have. The tolerance for the personal tolerance for risk and the commitment is just I'm impressed by it, and I like to be around those folks. And I know that at ChargeBee I was going to have the opportunity to help thousands of founders to start their business with a subscription billing system, so that they could give that to us, so they could focus on creating the value prop for their company. Now, we also serve scale up and growth stage companies as well, but I knew I would have this opportunity to help companies in that startup phase. So it was
I
important to
can
me.
definitely see that.
I,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, no, no. I think company stage is also important. Company stage is going to tell you a lot about what it will be like to work there. Generally speaking, the bigger the company, the more specialization in your role, and the smaller the company, the broader your responsibilities. So, I've been, employee number 11, and I've wore lots of hats, and I've worked for IBM, where I
Oh,
had,
wow.
a very small hat, right? And so, I think knowing what makes you happy in terms of company stage, how much how much process exists. Again, the bigger the company, the more process you'll have. The smaller the company, the more you might be the person who has to build the process. And then in that in between stage is a really messy period for a company where you've achieved product market fit, and now you're growing and you're hiring hundreds of people. It's a super exciting, but also a pretty chaotic time in a company's life cycle. And so knowing, what you like to be a part of, and where you can add the most value, I think in terms of company stage is important. The role, obviously, right? What are you looking for? Individual contributor, how technical of a role? Do you like working with customers? Do you like hard deadlines? Or do hard deadlines make you nervous? All that type of stuff. So getting a good fit between your responsibilities and what you enjoy doing. And then for me, I had location. I'm based in Denver. I've got a wife and two kids. We didn't want to move, and it was important to me to have some place either where I could be full time remote, which is where I am with ChargeBee, or be in the Denver area.
Okay, well, that's a great criteria. And Nathan, if it's possible, I would love for you to share it so we can link it and give you credit for
Sure.
this amazing criteria, because I think a lot of us are stuck with the dilemma where we have a lot of choices, but we're like, which one do we go for and everything? And then we're assessing them. But then again, I think having it written, making sure that you're scoring them, making sure that whether you're actually filling in the whole box and criteria always helps us visualize and understand what we want at the end of the day. And you ended up with a company that you're enjoying with, which is something that I'm really happy for you about, and it worked out for you and your family because you guys didn't have to move. So that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, no, ChargeBee definitely checks all the boxes. It's a great company. In addition to having fantastic leadership and a great product and growing real well, the culture here is pretty special, and so
Okay.
I couldn't be more fortunate to have landed in a great spot.
Okay, last question, Nathan, are you a baseball fan?
A little bit, yeah. You may see a
I
few
have seen you.
baseballs on the wall behind me. A little bit. There's more over here that you can't see, but yeah, huge
Okay.
baseball fan.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Nathan. Well, Nathan, our time is up. It was an absolute pleasure learning about your journey, your career pivot, your criteria of how you had to choose jobs, because I think it's very inspiring because all of us are given choices, and usually we just get feel stuck when we're presented with so much choices. But it was an absolute pleasure having you as a guest and learning so much from you. But other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Manali. You too. Take care.